Hi, Future Tom here. Heads up, this video turned into a massive rant with some Zombies Royale gameplay in the background. So if you're in the mood for a rant, go make yourself a cup of tea, sit down. You could probably just listen to this video if you want to. It's mostly just me going on about how I think grinds are probably a bad thing in Call of Duty. So if you enjoy that sort of thing, don't forget to leave a like and let's get going. Earlier today, I was playing some Zombie Royale with randoms, so I was queuing up solo and just playing with whoever the game put me with. And this happened. Repeatedly. That teammates would just go into the game, immediately die, and then turn into zombies and run off into the gas to go open boxes all over the map so they could gather some souls, and then they'd just quit the game. And this happened so many times. Sometimes people would play normally, but once they got their 16 souls, they would just quit the game. Why are people doing this? Because there's an event shop where you can spend loads of souls. Right now, I think all of the stuff that you can buy up until tomorrow is 600 souls, and you can only get 16 per game. So people kind of have an incentive, if they want to get all the stuff, to maximize their efficiency by going in, getting the souls, quitting out of the game, because in Warzone that lets you keep them, and then loading up another game. Supposedly, there's something in the set of things that's coming out tomorrow that's going to be like 1,000 souls or 2,000 souls or something. So that's just going to make this problem worse, because anyone who wants to get it before the event ends, and bear in mind the event ends in 2 weeks, is going to be having to get some souls pretty quickly. So they're going to look for these kind of techniques, these kind of strategies, and there's actually a bunch of YouTube videos online showing you how to get souls as efficiently as possible, how to grind out the souls as efficiently as possible. Now, I haven't actually done any of the math, but I'm pretty sure if you're going for something that's going to be worth 1,000 souls or 2,000 souls, that's going to be hours of your life spent just trying to get whatever that item is, or camo, or whatever it's going to be. Are you having fun while you're doing that? I'd argue people who are just dropping into the game, killing themselves, running into the gas, and then picking up as many souls out of boxes as they possibly can, probably aren't having a great time. That feels a little bit like work. And if you did work for that amount of time, and you earned some money, you'd be able to afford bundles that would probably get you something much cooler than whatever you're going to be able to get with the souls that you're collecting. Now, this just wound me up a little bit today, just because I was annoyed that I kept having teammates that were doing absolutely nothing to help in the game, and then were quitting early, in a mode where it's very easy to get back into the game. It was just winding me up. But it did get me talking to chat about a bigger problem, which is the idea of grinding in Call of Duty. Is it actually bad for the game overall? Now, I'm pretty sure I'm safe in saying that a lot of the Call of Duty community love grinds. Like, it's a big part of why a lot of people keep on playing year after year. It's a big part of the reason why people play for hundreds of hours every year. You know, whether they're doing the camo grind, whether they're trying to get to max level and doing the prestige grind, or whether they're just trying to get as many wins as possible in Warzone, or whatever it is they're trying to do. You know, some people just consider it a grind unlocking all of the attachments for all of the different weapons. And personally, as someone that likes playing a lot of Call of Duty, I like there being some kind of progression. I like the idea that whenever I'm playing, I feel like even if I have a bad couple of games, it doesn't feel like time wasted because I've been moving up a little bit in a battle pass, or I've gone a little bit further to a prestige level, or I've completed some challenges and got some calling cards. I even started doing the camo grind in this game in Modern Warfare 2. I got up to the point where I had platinum on every single weapon, and then I needed to get headshots, and I really hated doing that, so I immediately stopped. But I understood that kind of urge to try and go for polyatomic, to try and go for Orion, to try and get something where it felt like, okay, that's a goal I can achieve, let's hunt after it. So it makes sense why Call of Duty developers would want to put grinds into the game. You know, people are really enjoying them. You can add them very easily to basically any game mode. Like the next game, Modern Warfare 3, is going to have the multiplayer camo grind. There's also going to be a separate Zombies Mastery camo they've confirmed. So there's going to be a camo grind in that. There'll be more battle passes to grind. There'll be more prestige levels to grind. There's going to be all of the weapons to unlock at the beginning of the game. There's going to be tons and tons of stuff to do. And all of those people in the community that love grinding, that's going to be something that keeps them playing. And obviously, Activision, whoever, Microsoft now, I guess, want people to play for as long as possible. They want people to spend time in this game, because then they're more likely to buy the next Battle Pass. They're more likely to buy microtransactions and bundles and stuff like that. So it seems like the grinds are just a win-win. But then going back to what I said at the beginning of this video, the whole reason I made this video, This sort of grind for the event, getting these souls, is exactly what's causing this weird behavior. It's causing people to leave their teammates. It's causing people to, rather fittingly, become a zombie and run around opening boxes to get a random chance of getting some souls, so then they can save up an arbitrary number of them so they can unlock some items in the game, some cosmetics that they probably won't even end up using very much. And this isn't the only grind that causes kind of bad player behavior. If you play any Call of Duty when it releases, the 6v6 modes are completely dominated by people trying to do some kind of grind. And that means they're going to be looking for the most efficient way to do it, because it's intrinsically not a fun thing to do. So when the new game launches, when Modern Warfare 3 launches, you can bet that there'll be a ton of people trying out all of the different guns to try and level them all up. And that's a really cool thing, you know, people using a variety of guns is really good. But then people will start trying to find the most efficient way to do it, because once you've done 2, 3, 4 guns, it starts getting maybe a little bit tedious. You're not really thinking about the game, you're just trying to think about getting the right type of kills. You know, once those camo challenges start coming in, it starts saying, okay, you need long shots. Now they'll be playing objective modes and maybe hanging back a little bit just to try and get those long shots, even if it's not helping the team. So people who just want to play normally, people who want to win at the game, people who just want to have fun with the game, might start getting a little bit annoyed that there's a bunch of people on their team just kind of hanging back, not contributing, taking up team slots, just trying to do the camo grind for themselves. And then those people on the camo grind will start flocking towards whatever maps and modes are the most efficient way to do it, because intrinsically the grind isn't fun. So with the last game of Modern Warfare 2, that was Shipment. As soon as they released Shipment, people just flocked to that, and so many people just wanted to play that mode, and they'd be running around trying to get all of their challenges done, whether that's headshots, whether it's long shots, which were admittedly a little bit difficult on Shipment, or whether it's, you know, crouch kills or anything like that. They're not playing the game in kind of a competitive way. They're not playing the game in a way where they're trying to do what's the most fun thing to do in the game. Instead, they're just going through the motions, trying to complete all of those challenges, and then moving on. This means a lot of the other playlists in the game that are maybe more interesting to people that just want to play the game have a lower population, because everyone's in bloody Shipment 24/7 the whole time, shooting each other with rocket launchers. When there's a specific playlist for this, at least it kind of confines those people to that. Like, you know, if you go into the Shipment 24/7 thing, there's going to be people using stupid weapons and doing stupid things and not caring about the objective at all. But if you go into one of the other playlists, you've got a better chance of finding other people. Now, I'm a little bit worried about the launch of Modern Warfare 3, where there is no Shipment. I guess there is Rust, but I'd assume at the beginning of the game they probably won't have a 24/7 Rust playlist. But there is map voting. So you're going to get a load of people trying to pick the maps that aren't necessarily the most interesting to play or the most fun to play, but just the ones that are the most efficient for doing their grinds. And that's going to be kind of annoying. Already in the beta, it felt like I was just playing Rust and High Rise over and over and over again, because people didn't want to pick the other maps. Is there a solution to this problem of grinds making people play in a weird way, quit games, only pick maps that are the most efficient for it? I think probably yes, and that's to try and use the grinds to encourage players to play in the way you want them to. So, for example, doing grinds that involve completing objectives or winning objective modes with a high score, helping your teammates. Lots of other games do lots of rewards and challenges and things like that for people, like doing team play, so putting ammo crates down, or reviving other players and things like that. I'm sure Call of Duty could do something where the grind was a little bit more focused on doing positive things for your team, rather than just doing individual things that might actually be bad for your team. But aside from the way it makes people play, and you know, this is a fairly minor gripe, like it's not going to be a big deal, especially if you play with friends, then it doesn't matter, because you'll be able to get your friends on a team, and then you'll be able to work the objective together. But there is another problem with grinds, and this is more of almost like a philosophical or an ethical problem. And that's that the game is trying to make you waste your time, and it's trying to make you feel like wasting your time is important in some way. I'm sure lots of people who are watching this video have done camo grinds in previous Call of Duties, and they've got those mastery camos, and they've probably spent dozens or even hundreds of hours trying to do it. Was that a good use of time? Like, in your life you only have a limited number of hours. Do you think they were well spent getting those camos, which you now no longer use because you don't play that game anymore? even if those camos did all carry forwards, like the Modern Warfare 2 ones are into Modern Warfare 3, would it be worth your time just to have a gun that looks slightly different in exchange for hundreds of hours of doing something repetitive? Now, don't get me wrong, like I was saying, there can be good sides to doing these grinds. You know, if you're chatting with your friends while you do them, it's sometimes nice to do something mindless while you socialize with your friends. That makes perfect sense to me. But if you're just doing it by yourself and you're doing something that you don't enjoy, and you're spending all of this time just because the game's tricked you into thinking it's worth it, then maybe reevaluate why you're doing it or whether it's worth it at all. I remember the first mastery camo I got was actually in Black Ops 4. Me and my friend Namegear, we went through and we made sure we completed that mastery camo, and then when I got to the end of it, I was just like, oh, I don't really want to play this game anymore. So I don't think I ever really used the camo ever, because it was just like, once I'd done it, I was completely sick of the game. I wasn't enjoying myself. I didn't look back at it and think that was a good decision. I was just like, oh, this is a horrible mistake. And then in Black Ops Cold War, I decided to go for the zombies camo, the Ether one, got that. I think it was called Dark Ether in that. And I managed to get that. And that was even worse because halfway through that grind, I realized that I wasn't enjoying this. I was just mindlessly going around in circles on D Machine or Firebase Z, trying to group up the zombies to kill them in the most efficient way possible. But when I was halfway through it, I was like, okay, I'm not enjoying this. This isn't a good use of time. But I've already done so much, I might as well keep on going. And again, this works in Activision's best interest. It's keeping me playing the game. It's making me spend more time in the game, even though I'm not enjoying it. And that can't be a good thing. I've always been worried about game developers trying to kind of trick you into spending more time on a game than you're really enjoying. And I always think whenever you're playing a game, you should always think about what you're getting out of it. If it's your way of relaxing, brilliant. That's a nice way to chill out. If it's your way of socializing, then awesome. It's good to chat to your friends. It's good to have kind of something you do together. But if you're playing by yourself and you're not really enjoying yourself, but you're spending hours and hours and hours on it because you think that a camo is important or unlocking a new gun is important or getting some calling card or something like that is important, or you think it's going to make you happy when you've done it because you're going to be part of some elite club, you should probably stop right now. I can guarantee you, it's not worth it. You're not going to feel like you're in some cool elite club when you get it. You're not going to think that that camo is worth hundreds of hours of your time when you manage to unlock it. It's always going to feel a bit like a waste of time, because it is a waste of time. I wish games would try to respect the time you spend on them a little bit more, but there's always going to be that conflict of how much a developer wants to make a game fun and interesting and memorable and good for the player in some way, whether that's giving them a fun experience or giving them fun things to do with their friends, versus the kind of financial side of it of they want you to be spending as much time as possible in this game so you'll spend more money on it. It's a similar way to, how casinos work, where they want you to stay in the casino for as long as possible. So that's why if they have a food option, it'll be like a buffet or something, something that takes a long time and will fill you up so you don't need to leave the casino to do anything else. They'll have a hotel room in there so you can make sure you can sleep in the casino. So you're staying there, you're not going anywhere else. They want you to spend all your money there. And I think most people understand that with casinos. They understand that it's kind of sleazy and they're trying to kind of get as much money out of you as possible. It's not a nice thing that they're doing for you. But with gaming, some people are like, yeah, they've put a grind in. This is awesome. There's something I can work towards. And I often see it with Easter eggs. A lot of my videos that have done well are Easter egg guides. And often I'll get people in the comments saying like, oh, what's the reward? What do I get out of this? Because they see it almost as a transaction that, you do something in the game in exchange for getting something fun. And I think that's really backwards. I always think the game should be the fun part. I always enjoy Easter eggs regardless of what the reward is. It's kind of doing the Easter egg is the fun bit. And then if you get something fun at the end of it, if you get a little reward, that's a little bonus. But as soon as you start doing something in games because you think what you get at the end of it is going to make you happy, I think you've gone wrong somewhere. And I think the developers are very, very guilty of trying to encourage you to think like that. And you should snap out of it. Like when you think about casinos and you think, oh, look at these schmucks staying at the hotel, eating in the restaurant, just so they can extort more money out of you. Think about what a game's doing. Are you having fun while you're playing it? Are you making the most of your time in that game? Or could you probably spend that time better somewhere else? If you enjoy these kind of talky videos where I'm just going on a rant, talking about something to do with video games, make sure you let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, then I'll do more of them, because it's a fun type of content for me to make, but I never know how well it goes down. I'm sure there'll be some people who disagree with me. Let me know in the comments. It's always interesting to have a discussion about these things. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.